Cool beans. All right, welcome to the weekly wrap up. Today we look back at the beginning of the week and midweek analysis to see how it played out. And looking back at the beginning of the week, I was expecting price action to pull back off of the weekly PD array that I have outlined at these two levels right here. I wanted to see us pull back down to the discount arrays that we see outlined here, that I have marked here, right? So we got that pullback between Monday and Tuesday, beginning of the week, as expected, as called out in the Telegram group, right? Wednesday night, I told you guys that I wanted to see how price action reacted throughout the rest of Asia and going into London, meaning I wanted to see if we broke above these premium arrays, right? Or if we stay below the premium arrays. I told you guys Wednesday night, go back and look at the tape, that if we stay below the premium arrays, that I would continue to be bearish for Dixie and I would want to see price action continue to push to the downside. I told you guys that if we pushed above the PD array, um, that I would be expecting us to reach up and run um, the upper or the top PD array level, right? And I told you that I would be looking for us to reach up into this weekly fair value gap, right? Reach through it, run to it and through it, right? Close above it, and then look for price to slam back down off of that level. I said all of this Wednesday night on the call. Go back and look at the tape. Um, so if I break this down to the hour time frame and we go back to Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, the 20 00 candle, 20 o'clock candle, Wednesday night, we were right here. We were right here, right here. And this is when I was telling you guys I wanted to see how price action reacted through the rest of London and going into I'm sorry, the rest of Asia and going into London. And we see that price pushed up, right? We reached up into that weekly fair value gap, right? Price action sold off of that weekly fair value gap, but we did not push back through that lower this premium array, PD array right here, right? We didn't get a significant enough push, aggressive enough push back through that level. And then we see on that 8 o'clock candle, we broke back up to the upside um, off of that candle. And today, right, we seen midnight opening price here, right? We seen this manipulation move to the upside coming out of this accumulation, right? And we see the accumulation, we see the manipulation to the upside, and then we see the market slam down today, right? That was that push to and through that weekly fair value gap that I was looking for, right? To and through, right? And then this is that slam back down through that I was looking for, that I talked about Wednesday night on the call at 8 o'clock, right? And so now for next week, I am expecting Dixie to continue low. being that we did see this push up and through, and then instead of price respecting that weekly fair value gap, it pushed back through it extremely aggressively, right? And closed below it and closed below that top premium level, right? So I would like to see us open up for the new trading week, closing, pushing below this lower PD array level and closing below it. And if we get that, then I will be expecting price to push back down to these um PD array levels, right? And possibly pushing back down to this daily fair value gap right here. So that's what I'll be paying attention to and looking forward to for the new trading week. I'm looking forward to that movement to the downside. That's my bias, bearish to the downside to the daily fair value gap. So that being said, moving on to currencies, we already know what we wanted to see for Dixie, so we know we wanted to see the opposite for currencies. I told you guys Monday night that I expected Euro USD to pull back up to the previous week's PD array, right? We pulled back up into there perfectly. Tested at upper level, ran into that upper level, and um Wednesday we saw a sell off here, closing below that lower PD level and pushing on back down to run Friday's sell side liquidity. I told you guys Wednesday that I wanted to see us reach for this weekly uh, fair value gap right here, right? I wanted to see us reach for that. And we got fairly close to it. Right, we got fairly close to it. Um, well, as a matter of fact, we did come down into that weekly fair value gap. I don't know what this level is. Know where that come from. I know where it come from. Never mind. Come from this level here. I wanted to see price. Once we ran this level here, this was the next level for us to retest. So that's where that level come from. But I put it, I move that out of the way right quick. Let me move that. We'll see this is that weekly fair value gap, right? That I wanted to see Euro USD come back down into. And we did see it come back down into there, right? This is that fair value gap. Matter of fact, let me mark that. I'm gonna mark that on the weekly, right? And then break it down so we see how that ran up into that, or ran down into that, should I say. There we go. So we see price from Wednesday night, as I told you guys on the call. And I want y'all to pay attention to something too. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to time and price, but it's called time and price for a reason. It's because the algorithm distributes price according to time, right? And it's a reason why time is first and price is last, right? Everything gets done and distributed and and played out according to time. right? It's time first and then price. So if you look at these levels, where price is giving you, right, setups and models off of these levels, it's happening at specific times, right? Because if we look at the weekly PD array that I wanted to see price pull back up to from Monday, right? Starting out Monday night, right? Starting out Monday night, right here, right? We know that the analysis was to see price pull back up into the premium array, right? The weekly PD array, right? Now, we got that pull back Tuesday up into that premium array, right? But look, price pulled up to that top premium array level, kissed it beautifully, right? I think it might have been only, this is Euro USD, right? So this is a currency pair, right? And that level is 0.09768, 0.0976, right? Because we know with currencies, that decimal, that fourth number behind after the decimal is your pip number, right? So we're just basically looking at 76, right? So 9.976. If you look at that candle that went up to that level, right? The higher that candle is what? 0.976, right? This is 0.9768. This one doesn't show you that last digit. It just showed you the 0.976. No, yes, it does. It shows you the 0.9. So this is, it reached up into 0.9766, and the level is 0.9768, right? So off by basically the spread, because the spread for Euro USD is like 1.2 or 1.4, something like that, depending on your broker. And then if you add your commission in there, that gives you that 2 pip difference, right? But two pips is like literally nothing, right? So, but my point is, notice what time that, and I'm on an hour, so let me go down to 30 minutes so we can see, because we know markets open up at the half an hour, not at 9, but at 9:30, right? So I went down to the 30-minute for that purpose, right? So look at what time price action goes up and retests that upper PD array. Look at what time. What time is that? That's an opening bell for something.
US Open, 9:30 a.m.
Look. And that's why the mentor stresses about paying attention to time in price, because the algorithm distributes these movements and these runs on liquidities at specific times, right? And we had this outline, right, before the week even started. We were looking for price to pull back up into these upper PD levels, right? It is not coincidence and it is not random that price just so happenly to perfectly pull up into up into that upper PD array at exactly 9:30 USO. That is no coincidence, right? We are expecting that. So when you are expecting that and you already have this outline, right? When price comes there, you don't even have to think about that. That's like automatic. You already seen your 2022 model show its hand over here. Run of higher time frame liquidity, right? Run of that. We see a manipulation to the upside right there after that run, right? And then we see that run of short-term sell side liquidity right there. Run of that short-term liquidity right there. The run of that short-term liquidity should create a what? A fair value gap. Do we see a fair value gap in the run of that short-term liquidity? We do right there. And price reaches right back up into it, right? And continue to break down, right? Creates this sell side liquidity here to close Friday's trading day and last week's trading week, right? Now, if we're expecting price to pull back up into that, right, and we're looking for a sell off of that, what kind of sell are we looking for off of that? We're looking for a short off of that, of course. Where are we targeting? The sell side liquidity from last week, right? Came up 9:30, New York opening. Price never came back to that price again for the rest of the week. It was off to the races to what? To run what? Friday's last week's sell side liquidity. Came down into there today, right? Is it a coincidence that we came down to there to run Friday's sell side liquidity on Friday? No, it's not. And then we closed the day, pricing back up into this imbalance and consolidating or accumulating out into the close. Textbook, y'all. I mean, textbook. So make sure you're paying attention to time and price. What are your times and prices? New York open. What? No. Um, true day. True day opening. Right. Midnight New York midnight time. Right. Um. Then 2 a.m. London opening. London to 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. You know that is your kill zone. And then 8:30, right? That's when clearing houses is pumping their liquidity into the market, and that is also pre-market opening, 8:30 a.m. New York time. And then we have, of course, New York opening bell at 9:30 a.m., right? And then we have your New York AM, where your New York kills on from 8. It can differ. Some people do their kill zones from 8 to noon. Some people do them from 8:30 to 10. And then from 8:30 to 10, at 10 we got the silver bullet hour from 10 to 11 a.m. And then we got the PM kill zone range from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., right? That's the kill zone for New York PM. And then we got the silver bullet time frame from 2 p.m. The We got the New York silver bullet PM time frame from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So those are your times that you need to have written down, that you need to make note of, that you need to be back testing. You need to go back in your charts and back test. Look at those times. Look at how the market and the algorithm and price action react to those times. Get familiar with it because price action repeats these distributions and runs on liquidities at these specific times over and over and over and over and over again. So let's make sure we understand that and we are aware of that, everybody. So that being said, um, yeah, we got that run back down to run Friday sell side liquidity. Um, I told you guys Monday that I wanted to see us pull down and to run and retest the bottom of this um, daily fair value gap, right? And I told you guys we'll either uh, retest the the low of this shaded area, right? Or I didn't want to see price go and close no lower than this level at 1.25627, right? And I told you guys if we respect that level or those levels that I wanted to see price for GBP USD pull back up into Fridays. I'm sorry, Wednesday's premium array. Right. We got that today. Beautifully. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that was that for GBP USD. And NZD USD. I told you guys I wanted to see if we respected this structure that we was at. I told you guys that NZD USD was very aggressive and I wasn't sure whether it was just gonna keep rolling over to come down, roll over into this daily fair value gap, or if we was gonna respect this level. But I told you if we respected this level, that I did want to see price reach back up for I think that's that weekly fair value gap, a weekly PD array. Last week's PD array. So, and we got that, we got price to start reaching up for that PD array, that weekly PD array today, right? So everything was pretty much spot on this week, guys. Like I said, we had some divergence between pairs, which is normal, but for the most part, overall analysis was on side this week and everything played out according to analysis. Um, Looking at silver, I told you guys that I wanted to see how price reacted to this structure, right? If we could get above it, then I expected us to run up into this CB. If we couldn't get above it, then I wanted to see us run down into this BC to the downside, right? and we see price kind of really didn't give us much action this week when it comes to metals, right? We just kind of accumulated around that structure, but we really didn't break to the upside nor the downside. So um, that's that for silver. We'll see how we open up. If we open up with a break to the upside or the downside, and we'll go from there. Um, Same thing for gold. I wanted to see us pull up, push up into this imbalance, and um, potentially this imbalance as well. Um, I told you guys that I wanted to see how price, if price pulled down to this imbalance and how it reacted to that imbalance. If we respected it, then that would give us the confirmation we needed to see price push up and start targeting these imbalances to the upside. But like silver this week, gold didn't really give us a lot of movement. This is the daily time frame, so if you go down to the hour, these moves a little bit exaggerated, but still not a lot of price action overall this week for metals. Um, if you were scalping and trading gold this week, this could have been an opportunity for you off of the weekly. I want to say this a weekly and daily fair value gap. Yeah, that's mainly a daily fair value gap, though. Let me see. Yeah. So I would like to see us get above this fair value gap right here, right, before we start looking for some long end opportunities to the upside, right? See us get above that first. If not, we break below here, then we'll see lower levels for gold to fill in imbalances to the downside. So that's what I want to look for in gold moving forward. Um, Yeah, but if the dollar continues its path lower to run that yearly low, then of course we're gonna be looking for gold to keep extending to the upside, along with silver as well. Oil, come on, oil, get on above 75. Y'all know the score with oil. We looking to get above 75 to break above this structure and start targeting 100 to $130 price targets. Looking at ES, right? I told you guys that I want to see to start out the week. I wanted to see ES pull down into the daily fair value gap that we see right here between here and here. I took the middle off. All right. So we got that Monday, right? Pull down into that fair value gap, right? And then I told you guys that um overall I wanted to see us pull back up into ES's daily and weekly PD arrays, right? So if we look here, this is the daily fair value gap, right? This is the lower volume imbalance level, weekly volume imbalance level. This is upper weekly in volume imbalance level, right? So, all right, so those are your weekly volume imbalances, right? Um, this is your daily PD array, right? And did I take the weekly arrays off? Oh no, okay. Sorry. So this blue is the weekly PD array, right? And I told you guys that starting out the week, I wanted to see price fall down into this daily PD array and see how price reacted to that. If we held that level, then I wanted to see price pull back up into the weekly premium array, which is outlined in blue, right? And so we seen price pull down into that daily fair value gap Monday, right? Gave us a beautiful setup off of that level, right? We pushed back up aggressively to the upside, breaking above that weekly volume imbalance level, right? Um, and then Wednesday night, I told you guys if we um, held the current level we was at, that I would expect ES to continue to push up and retest the premium, the weekly premium arrays, right? And potentially push up into this uh, weekly fair value gap and run last week's high, right? So we got all of those levels ran to close out the week. Fairly bullish week this week. Only down day we had was Monday for ES, and the rest of the week was extremely bullish. So it played out wonderfully. I took trades early in the week. I shared them in the group, of course. My buys up on Tuesday, right here, off of the respect of that daily fair value gap. I wanted to see us run up. So I took that trade to the upside and I was done Tuesday. And yeah, that's pretty much it for ES. That was across the board as well. So we seen that same move play out on E-mini dial U30. Um, push back up to that weekly PD array, right? Last week down, week premium levels, right? Wanted to see us push back up into that this week, and that's what we got. Beautiful, beautifully, right? And looking at NASDAQ, same thing. Same thing. Last week, down week, premium levels. Price opened up, we came down, rent that lower level that we left behind last week off week before last premium. Sorry, PD array, right? In this case, discount array, right? We came down this week. We came down last week. We rent that upper discount array from that previous week, right? But we left the lower level intact. So if we break this down to the daily, right, we see, right, last week we came down and retested that upper discount level 1, 2, 3 times, right? And when I look at this, right, I see this power of 3, right? So when I see that power of 3, I would expect for this next daily candle to be bullish, right? That fourth candle being bullish, breaking that power of 3, but it wasn't, right? So when we opened up Monday, go down to the hour, opened up Monday, right? We came down, retested that level, pushed up, right? But we did not break back above previous high, Friday's high, right? Which was right here. Didn't break back above that Monday, right? And then price started to sell off here at 10 o'clock Monday morning, right? Right at that silver bullet hour, right? Because we opened up at 9, right? Pushed up 9 o'clock. And that's when majority of the volume comes in the market, right? So when you see that push up and we don't break previous highs, that's a sign. That's the algorithm talking to you. That's price action talking to you, right? And then we get this bearish candle at 10 o'clock, right? And 11 o'clock, another bearish candle, pretty much tipping his hand, showing you that, yeah, we're going to go down and run that lower weekly PD array before we start to price higher, right? And so we see that run right here at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, right? And then we see price work his way back up to that level, push back above that level at 1 a.m., right? And we see price come back down and start retesting that lower weekly PD array. Now, you have to understand that this is a weekly PD array, right? So anytime price is coming to anything weekly, whether it be a PD array, whether it be a structure, whether it be a fair value gap, whether it be an order block, whether it be um, a breaker block, whatever, anything weekly, 90% of the time, you're going to get a big reaction to it. 90% of the time. And that reaction is going to be either one or two things. It's going to be a respect of that level, and price is going to shoot in the opposite direction, or it's going to be a complete breakthrough of that level, and price is going to bust through it and keep going in the same direction aggressive. like so. Here, see when we got to this level, price blow through it aggressively because that is a what? That's a they who is that? That's a weekly PD array, right? Weekly PD array, right? Price blows through it. If it was gonna respect it, it would have shot in like right here. See how we came to that level? Price respected it. You see a big reaction off of that down to what? Down into previous imbalance, right? Market structure, right? We see another reaction right here off of it. Respect that level, big reaction to the downside. Both times, right? This is NQ. So that's pippage, big pippage, or tickage, should I say. Big tick for NQ, right? But when it finally gets ready to break through that weekly PD array, how does it break through it? Aggressively. You see, this over here came up, respected it. You see these little wicks, but we see the bodies of the candles respecting that level, right? But when it gets ready to break it, we don't see that. We see aggressive push through. That's price action. That's the algorithm tipping its hand to you. It's telling you right there that yeah, I'm about to reach up for buy side liquidity, which we see here, right? That would be the buy side liquidity to the upside. And we see liquidity where else? Within this imbalance, right? Does price reach up for all that? It sure does reach up for all that to close the week out. So these are things you have to be aware of and paying attention to when you're trading ICT concepts. But that's pretty much it for futures this week. Everything played out beautifully. Last but not least, crypto, Biddy showing out, right? She came down, ran this sell side liquidity and snapped back. That was beautiful, right? Snap back. I told you guys that I wanted to see us respect this structure and this structure here. I didn't really want to see us go below this structure. I told you that Wednesday night, right? So now I'm feeling confident about us breaking up to 32.5. And if we can get above 32.5 and hold 32.5 strong, then next level is 40,000. Same thing for Ethereum. I told you guys that if we respected this structure that we was currently at Wednesday night right here, that our next level is 2,000 and above. 2,200 would be the next level from there. $8 cost average yield is all I got to say for 8. So that will conclude the weekly wrap up. I hope you guys took something away from it. Hope you learned something. Hope you took notes. At this time, I'll stop the share and stop the recording and take any questions.